Hey K-popers, and welcome back to Hallyu. It's time for another deep dive, and today I want to talk to you guys about how K-pop has played a major role in dealing with North Korea. We're going to discuss a very brief history of North and South Korea, how K-pop has been used as a weapon against North Korea, the Spring is Coming concert where idols performed in Pyongyang and turned Kim Jong Un into a ReVeluv, and finally we'll take a quick look into the future of the two Koreas. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, now I know you guys didn't come here for a history lesson, but I do want to briefly discuss the history of North and South Korea to give us a backdrop for everything else we're going to talk about. As we all know, the Korean War began in the early 1950s, and on July 27, 1953, an armistice was signed to end the combat and divide Korea into two nations. This gave way to North Korea, which is heavily influenced by China and Russia, and South Korea, which is likewise influenced by the United States. Ever since that agreement, the war has technically still been active between the two Koreas, and there have been many periods of tension between the two. With each leader of North Korea, Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and now Kim Jong Un, there have been varying threat levels, but for South Korea, the end goal has always been unification. Nobody wants to see the continuous threat of missiles, nuclear weapons, or renewed fighting at the border. Now, what's really intriguing is that during this time, South Korea has used K-pop and Hallyu in general as a weapon against North Korea. North Korea is a very strict dictatorship and requires extreme servitude from its people. The everyday life of a North Korean is very difficult, it's rote, emotionless, and is focused on praising the state. On top of this, the state tells its citizens that North Korea is a utopia, and that the outside world is full of evil, strife, and suffering. So, one of South Korea's main tactics over the years has been focused on soft power, not military strength. They want to show North Koreans what the real world is actually like, and show them what they're missing by believing the North Korean government and staying divided as two countries. How do they do this? K-pop and K-dramas, of course. With the incredible imagery of music videos, the joyous melodies of the songs, and the beautiful happy people singing, K-pop opens the eyes of North Koreans to see what individuals can do and become in a free society. And K-dramas teach them what everyday life and love looks like in the sprawling, beautiful cityscapes of the South. It completely undermines the propaganda with which North Korea indoctrinates its citizens, and it shows them that they're being lied to. There have been many accounts of defectors saying that it was K-pop and K-dramas that made them so desperate to leave and pursue a better life. So how do they actually get K-pop into the hands of North Koreans? Well, South Korean media is viewed as contraband in the North, so they have to get creative. An early method was actually to smuggle K-pop on CDs and DVDs with traders from China, since North Korea and China get along quite well. They've also used weather balloons. They would fill these balloons with more CDs and DVDs, as well as USBs of American and South Korean television and K-pop. Then they would send the balloons over the border for them to fall into villages in North Korea and be collected by regular everyday people. South Korea has also targeted the North's military in a hilariously ingenious way. You see, along the border there used to be 11 massive arrays of loudspeakers which historically blasted anti-communist messages to the soldiers on the other side. These speakers are so loud that you can hear them from 6 miles or 10 kilometers inland from the border. Around 2015, the government decided there was an even better way to demoralize the North Korean soldiers and entice them to switch sides. And what was that? Using the speakers to play Girls' Generation, of course. That's right, they would blare the song Genie by Girls' Generation continuously, and when you look at the lyrics of the song, it makes total sense. Here are just a couple of the lyrics. Dreams, passions, I want to give them all to you. I'm a goddess of fortune that wants to make your wishes come true. Aren't you tired of the boring days? Have you become buried by your ordinary life? Now stop and wake up. You are my superstar, shining star. The lyrics are perfect, and it would be hard to blame any soldier for losing their resolve after hearing a fantastic pop song with such welcoming lyrics. Now, South Korea actually turned those speakers off in a show of cooperation in 2018 ahead of an inter-Korean summit, and this is where the Spring is Coming concert comes into play. In April 2018, the Spring is Coming concert was set up to be a 2-day cultural display in the capital of North Korea, Pyongyang. Many celebrities from all walks of life were part of the delegation that went, including elite taekwondo athletes, actors, and of course K-pop idols. On the first day, there was a 2-hour concert with performances by Red Velvet, Girls' Generation Seohyun, Cho Young-pil, Big Ji-young, and several others. Seohyun's performance included a beautiful rendition of a very popular North Korean song called Blue Willow Tree. It turns out that Kim Jong Un actually adjusted his schedule so that he could see this concert, and he absolutely loved it. He was clapping along with the performances, and afterwards he gave the event glowing praise. He even went out of his way to meet Red Velvet, taking a picture with them and the other performers. He told reporters, "I am grateful for a gift like this concert to the people of Pyongyang." It was a completely unprecedented move from their leader, and frankly it shows just how powerful the allure of K-pop and Hallyu can be. It took a warmongering dictator and turned him into an Irene bias. I'm not joking, if you look at the group picture, the rest of Red Velvet is in the back corner, but Irene is front and center right beside Kim Jong Un, per his request. As we have seen, K-pop has had a major role in the history of North-South relations. It's been able to help thousands of North Koreans see the world for what it really is, and it's inspired them to take the ultimate risk in defecting and gaining a new lease on life. K-pop has the power to move people to action. We've seen this recently with the active role K-pop stans have played in the fight for equality, and it happened in 2018 at the Spring is Coming concert too. While tensions right now are definitely higher than they were in 2018, the hope for reunification stays strong. If the two Koreas are going to achieve peace and work together, it has to start with a shared understanding, appreciation of each other, and acknowledging what's important and what's right. K-pop can absolutely be the catalyst for that change, as the art form has already brought so many people together around the world and created a global community. Maybe one day that community will expand to North Korea, and we'll be able to look back at the Spring is Coming concert as the first step. What a world that would be, where we have Red Velvet to thank for peace on the Korean peninsula. I hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive into K-pop's role in North Korean relations. There's some really fascinating K-pop related stories in their history. Thank you so much for watching this deep dive, guys, and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future ones. Do you want to be an honorary producer credited in these videos? Maybe join a video hangout and get a personal K-pop video message every month? How about your very own deep dive? All of that's available when you support my work via Patreon, and it would mean a lot to have you guys there in the community. This has been Deep Dive number 11, K-pop and North Korea.